Hello YouTube watch lovers, and welcome to this new episode on my watch review channel. So first of all, I need to thank everyone who liked my previous comparison video of the Tudor and Rolex GMT watches. Really guys, your comments make me come back into my studio and record this one. And today I'm gonna try to touch upon a topic about just Breitling and the Breitling new watches which they are releasing all the time. And in the last 2 years there were probably more new Breitlings released, and they're all interesting watches. And for once I'm not gonna have all these 10 watches that I'm gonna be discussing today. I just have one Navitimer and I have one TopTime currently on my wrist. And I want to start with the fact that Breitling have great history. The brand came up with this chronograph watch with the start, stop and reset buttons. So Breitling came up with this chronograph movement and the idea of a chronograph watch and the sub-dials with the chronograph timekeeping. This is all Breitling, and now I'm hopefully having this picture of a 24-hour chronograph watch. So this was the watch to be used in space where you don't have the light time representing the daytime and dark when you have the night, where the spacecraft orbits Earth and you have constant light dark changes, and when you need to keep the time of the day. So you no longer have 12 hours of light time and 12 hours of night time, say. For me, this watch will be just crazy, because I am used to my watches and I used to check the time all the time. Getting reacquainted to the 24-hour dial would be just too long. So this is a watch from 1970s, and I'm now showing you my TopTime racing watch from 1980s. I think this is a cracking watch. This is a great watch which I got introduced on the watch repair channel, because the master watchmaker was servicing the Venus 187 movement. This is a column wheel vertical clutch manual wind movement which is used in this watch. It's just a cracker of a watch. And I don't want to discuss prices with you now, especially relating to the vintage watches, where you just realize yourself how much you're ready to pay for the watch and how much the seller wants for the watch. And if both of you agree on the deal, you just go for it, because you cannot buy this watch anymore from the shop. So you see where is the best offer, and I bought this watch from Chrono24, and so I did with my Navitimer. But most of the photographs which I'm showing you today were taken in the Breitling dealership here in Belfast. So in Victoria Square there's a lance shop which has all these new Breitling releases. They have all these watches. So from the TopTime on my wrist, we'll move on to this TopTime 2020, the Zorro dial. So I like this watch. I really like this watch, really like the feeling of this watch on the wrist. So this is a 42 millimeters. The only thing that brings this watch down is that Breitling are using, so they're calling it a caliber 823 movement. In reality, it's a Valjoux 7753 movement. There's nothing, I don't think that the movement in this watch is produced by Breitling in-house. I think they're using either a Salita or ETA built movement for this watch, and I think this is just a little bit too expensive. I hope you're reading the price. I just don't want to be just mentioning all these prices all the time for you. Cracking watch, like it. There are many reviews on the web and people like the looks of this watch and mention that this is the type of watch that they would like to wear. I just cannot see buying all these Breitlings, because I will be talking about watches that I would want to wear, but just cannot see myself buying all of them. So now we are moving on to the Superocean Heritage 57. So this is one of the latest releases by Breitling, and this is a 42mm diver that has this 1957 inspired design of the dial and the watch case and everything. This is recognizably non a Submariner, non a Rolex, non Tudor Black Bay type diving watch. And I really like the design of the dial. I like these markers at 3, 6 and 9 and 12. I like the ideas behind this watch. There's even a more impressive limited edition rainbow dial for this watch, but it uses, once again, they call it Breitling caliber 10 movement, but the Breitling caliber 10 is the ETA 2824 or maybe even a Salita version of that movement. Nothing bad. This is a Swiss made movement, but really for this price tag you expect something better. Like this watch, like the looks of it, but I'm now in the Rolex game and I really want a Submariner, so I just don't see myself going for the Superocean Heritage 57, but a cracking watch, really like it, no problem. I mean, go on Breitling, bring us more watches like this, and maybe I'll decide at some point in the close future. So now let us talk about the premieres. So these are two reverse Panda and the Panda dial premiere watches. So both of them are Premiere B01. So these have the top class Breitling in-house chronograph movement. So B01 movement has been designed by the same team that designed the Rolex 4130 movement. So this is like an upgrade. This is like a fantastic, like top of the range automatic chronograph movement, Swiss made automatic movement, and both watches are fantastic. I especially like this Norton Reverse Panda edition watch, really good. Overpriced, like everything that I will show to you today. So this is, you see the prices for the Panda and for the Reverse Panda dial watches. The Norton limited edition is slightly more expensive. I really like these Arabic numeral markers, these two sub-dials which make the dial so symmetrical. Really like this watch. Really cannot see myself buying another Breitling for my watch collection. So really have to pass on this one, but amazing watch. Really like the Premiere watches. Now the Chronomat, the new Chronomat released in 2020. This one has probably the best bracelet of any watch that I've ever put on my hand, on my wrist. I really like the new Chronomat. The watch oozes quality, and once again it has this in-house B01 chronograph movement, which is just extremely good movement. Once again, just a little bit over the price range where I would buy my next watch, well, unless it is a Rolex. So Chronomat B01 movement. I'll come back to this watch in the final comparison table, which I will do at the end of this video for you. So now we come into the realm of the Navitimers. So Navitimers are probably Breitling's greatest invention and Breitling's greatest introduction to the watches, to the Swiss luxury watch market. So the Navitimer, first of all, I'm showing you the reference 806. so the re-edition of a 1959 watch. To be frank with you, with all these expansions on the dial, I really like this watch. I really like this watch, and it's only that I wanted to go for the automatic movement that I've chosen a different Navitimer for my watch collection. But I think this is a stunning watch. This is a stunning watch that has the caliber 809 Breitling movement. So this is a manual wind. This is actually the B01. So the movement is everything that the automatic movement in the previous watches that I've shown to you, this one designed by the same team that produced the 4130 Rolex movement, but it is lacking the rotor and the automatic winding system. I love this watch. I really like it. I am seriously considering adding it to my collection, but this is limited edition. I think they only make 2,000 of them, so I might miss my chance to buy it now when it's available for the retail price. But here is the actual Navitimer one with the B01 movement, the 46mm classic Navitimer. So this is what the Navitimer, this is the one of the most classic watches, recognizable from a mile away. Everyone knows this particular design for the Navitimer watch, with its calculator bezel allowing the pilot to calculate the distance that he can go on the amount of fuel that he's carrying. And this watch was actually requested from Breitling by this association, the International Association of Pilots, this IOPA. And this is a famous watch. This is one of the classic chronographs that you can ever get. And this is the top of the Breitling watch collection. This is probably their primary watch, and this is a classic. You cannot argue with a Navitimer one, but you actually can, and you can with another Breitling Navitimer. So this, the watch that I'm showing to you, this is a part of a 3-watch. They're not limited edition. They're limited production Navitimers that were dedicated to now extinct airlines. So I'm showing you that I went for the Swiss Air. There's also one dedicated to the Pan American, and there's one watch that is the TVA, the TWA air company. So all air companies are non-existing now, and Breitling thought how they would build watches, how they would build their Navitimers specifically for the pilots of each of these non-existent air companies. I like the idea. I like that they did this original design, original color pattern for each one of these watches. So mine comes on the distressed leather strap, and I like it. I like it. It's my Navitimer. It's a Navitimer from my collection. So for once, I will stop whinging about the prices. I actually got this on an extremely good deal from a watch collector who needed some money through the COVID. I think I bought it in April 2020. I'm not gonna, there are no deals of this level currently available, and I've shown you the prices for the Navitimers and what Breitling wants for them. This is just a watch that sits amazing on my wrist, has this B09 automatic movement, and I really like. I hope that my camera does this watch some it respects this watch, and it focuses on this dial, because I think it just looks amazing. So to finish off this video, I want to make this comparison between 3 chronographs from 3 very competitive brands that are doing a good job. Unfortunately, Breitling wants a little bit more for its Chronomat. compared to the Tudor. Tudor actually uses the Breitling B01 movement. They only put in their own escapement into the Tudor Black Bay GMT. And Tag Heuer are using their in-house produced Heuer 02 movement, which probably equals the B01 movement for the amount of development, for how good this watch is. So you need to make a choice between the brands. I do think that Breitling has a little bit more advanced quality, a little bit more proposition in the Chronomat compared to the Tudor or the Tag Heuer watches. So Breitling builds great watches, and this is undoubtable. For a watch collector, buying all these watches from one brand is a little bit of a commercial suicide, because these watches do lose value. You can have one Breitling and just know that you have your Navitimer and you have it forever, and you have it in your watch collection, because the watch is classic and there is no excuse for not including a Navitimer in your watch collection. Especially the way they build them now, they are just solid, great movement, amazing quality watches. Would I buy another Breitling for myself? Well, I really like that manual wound, the recreation of the 1959 watch. The only thing that I'm considering, I will definitely not buy a Chronomat. I will definitely not buy the Heritage Superocean. I like the Navitimer. I like the idea of this three definitely distinct subdials, this kind of reverse panda pattern, the complex calculator bezel of the Navitimer. This is a watch that can be recognized from a mile away, and as such it really should be in everyone's watch collection. So guys, I wonder if you like this type of review where I just rushed through all these watches, and if you think that my conclusions for this review are correct. If you think otherwise, please comment, please like, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in the next one. Ta-da!